of the barnyard, sitting on a stool, watching and listening to the animals.
You look fine and plump today, Wilbur. Your food must be agreeing with you.
Don't you know what they're fattening you up for, Wilbur?
No, what are you talking about?
They're gonna turn you into bacon and ham. Everyone is in on it, including John Arable.
Bert's father? Oh no, I can't believe it. Why would anyone want to kill me?
It's true, Wilbur. They're planning to kill you at Christmas time.
Stop, don't say anymore. I don't want to die. Save me, somebody help.
Now quiet down, Wilbur.
Quiet? How can I be quiet? Is it true, Charlotte? Are they planning to kill me at Christmas time?
Well, the old chief usually does know what he's talking about.
I don't want to die, Charlotte. I love my manure pile. I love my friends. And I love the fragrant air and the warmth of the sun.
Apparently you love to make a lot of noise, too.
I'm too young to die.
You shall not die, Wilbur.
What? Who's going to save me?
I am.
How? Tell me how.
I'm not sure just yet, but I want you to quiet down and stop carrying on in such a childish way. I can't stand hysterics.
Needless to say, Wilbur was relieved Charlotte was busy working on a plan, but Wilbur was still worried. He became much more worried one day when Friend's brother Avery wandered into the barnyard.
Hey, look at that spider. I think I'll knock it down and trap it in this box. You leave that spider alone, Avery! Chill out, Fern. And go too. Hey, what's that horrible smell? Oh, gross.
When Avery fell, he landed on an old rotten egg that Templeton had been saving to add to his collection of weird stuff.
Who are you calling weird?
Meanwhile, Charlotte continued working on her plan. She thought and thought, day after day. She sat by the hour waiting for an idea to come to her. She had promised Wilbur she would save his life and was determined to keep her promise to him.
Charlotte was by nature very patient. She knew from experience that if she waited long enough, a fly would come into her web. Charlotte was sure that if she was patient, once again an idea would come her way. Sure enough, one morning in the middle of July, it did.
I know how I can save Wilbur's life. I'll play a trick on Zuckerman. If I can trick a bug, surely I can trick a person. After all, humans aren't as smart as bugs.
I wonder what Charlotte means. She is so clever, but I'm not sure I understand what she's talking about.
That night, while everyone slept, Charlotte worked on her web. She tore a large section out and wove the silken threads into something new and amazing. The next day was foggy and wet. Charlotte's web was truly a thing of beauty. Lurvy, a man who helped on the Zuckerman's farm, was the first one to discover the miracle. Written in the middle of the web were the words, "Some pig." He ran to tell Mr. Zuckerman.
I think you should come down to the pig thing, Mr. Zuckerman. Hurry, is there something wrong with the pig? Oh, not exactly. Just come and see. Some pig. It's a miracle. My pig is completely out of the ordinary. It's written in the spider's web.
Mrs. Zuckerman thought it was the spider who wasn't ordinary, but everyone who saw the web thought it was the pig who was special.
See how easy it is to fool people? Now what shall I write next to my web?
I think the next word should be plump. That pig is really putting on weight. I hope we'll see Mr. Zuckerman's pig in the web. After all, it is my pig.
I hope Charlotte writes pretty in her web. Wilbur's the prettiest pig I've ever seen. Does anyone else have an idea for Charlotte, a word that does not appear in the book? Raise your hand if you do. You?
Pink.
Okay. Anyone else? You.
Spectacular.
Good. Anyone else? Thank you for those ideas. I hope Charlotte is listening. Charlotte. How about writing terrific in your web?
I concerned, Wilbur.
The next morning, Wilbur stood under the web which the word terrific appeared. Everyone was excited to see the famous pig.
What's going on here? What's all the excitement? Just the rat we didn't want to see. But now that you're here, Templeton, maybe you can make yourself useful. The next time you go to the dump, bring back some old clippings from the magazine, would you?
I need new ideas to write in my web, Templeton. I'm trying to save Wilbur's life.
Why should I care what happens to Wilbur?
Because if Wilbur dies, his trough will be empty, and his leftovers are your chief source of food.
I guess you're right. I'll see what I can find at the dump.
Templeton brought an advertisement from a magazine back from the dump.
This ad says crunchy. Can you write that in your web?
Certainly not. That won't make us up something of bacon. I have to go find another word, Templeton.
I don't believe this. Do I look like a messenger boy? Why write about that silly old pig when you can write about me instead? Right, handsome or smart or best rat in the world?
After some persuasion, Templeton made 2 more trips to the dump, and Charlotte finally had a new word, radiant. Wilbur did his best to look radiant. He did all he could to make himself glow. He even did a backflip with a twist.
Mr. Zuckerman decided to take his famous pig to the county fair. While they were there, Charlotte wrote one more word in her web. The word was humble. Wilbur was awarded a special prize at the fair and fainted from all the excitement. Mr. Zuckerman was proud of Wilbur, and Wilbur knew his life would be spared. Wilbur was exceedingly grateful to Charlotte.
When I first met you, Charlotte, I thought you were bloodthirsty, and now you have saved my life. I don't deserve a friend like you.
You have been a good and loyal friend, Wilbur. That in itself is a tremendous thing.
You saved my life, Charlotte, and I would gladly give my life for you.
I'm sure you would, Wilbur. Thank you.
Charlotte and Wilbur were true friends until the very end. Before Charlotte died, she laid an egg sack. Wilbur had a chance to repay Charlotte's kindness when he carried her egg sack back to the farm. He watched it day and night to be sure that Charlotte's babies would be safe when they hatched. Finally, the baby spiders began to break out of their eggs. But to Wilbur's shock and surprise, they all began to fly away. He was so sad that they were not going to be there to stay with him that he began to cry.
Don't cry, Wilbur. I'm going to stay here with you. I want you to tell me all about my mother. I'm sure you know lots of stories about her. Oh, yes. Let me tell you about the time when... You don't have to tell them all right now, Wilbur. I plan on staying in this barn for a long, long time.
Wilbur grew old in that barn. He saw many generations of Charlotte's children over the years. But no matter how long he lived, he never forgot Charlotte and what a